Hello, I'm Gregory Payne, the Chair of Communication Studies at Emerson College, the first communication department in the United States, and welcome to another edition of Payne on Politics. When you think of Emerson College, we're getting ready to celebrate our 150th anniversary, Evolution Necessary to Expression. You think of key individuals or students that really help define where Emerson is going, where it's been, more or less representing the legacy, but also, I would say, pathway forward. And one would be DJ Mara, who's here today. DJ, you're a political communication major, but you've got a lot of sports that are hanging on that tree.
Yes, thanks for having me. I am a political communication major, journalism minor, and I got my start working on local political campaigns in central Massachusetts, where I'm from, and that led me to work for the mayor of Worcester during my gap year between high school and college, and that also exposed me to the Worcester Red Sox, my hometown AAA baseball team that moved to Worcester and had its inaugural season in 2021. And I worked in the team store there for 2 years, then came to Emerson, unbeknownst to me that Dr. Charles Steinberg, the team president, also taught at Emerson.
Yes.
And did my freshman year here, then got an internship at the Worcester Red Sox doing government relations, so combining my passion for politics, civic engagement with sports, using it as an aspect of sports as soft power, as Charles and you teach and, preach at Emerson in different ways. And that's kind of been my role, I guess. It's evolved.
So I think for those people watching, you can see that he's not just a student. He's very immersed. He's working with the mayor of Worcester. He also works with Charles Steinberg, who is president of the Woo Sox. He then also is an ambassador here, likes to be involved in many things. I think there was a song in the 60s, Midnight Train to Georgia. You're on the Midnight Train to Worcester, back and forth all the time. First of all, DJ, why did you decide to come to Emerson College? What was the compelling reason?
So I think ultimately I was interested in political science, political, degree paths. And Emerson stood out as one of the only schools that had a political communication program. Many of the other schools, many in Boston, New York, D.C., some of the epicenters of higher education had political science programs. And, those stood out to me in some ways, but Emerson stood out to me in the sense that you learn about politics, you learn about a lot of the theory of politics, but you also learn how to practically communicate. And whether it's in sports or politics or journalism in my journalism courses, success effectively boils down to being able to communicate effectively. And, it's used as a cliche or overused in some cases, but it truly boils down to that. Can you effectively convey, what you're trying to achieve or, succeed with in, your words and actions?
So one thing that I was going to ask you is part of being chair is to make sure that we always put you in a classroom with leaders, people that are shaping the industry. I think that's one reason why we've been very successful in placement. In political comm, of course, we've got Emerson Polling. You've also got Carrie Thompson. You have Vincent and others that are giving you that perspective. In sports comm, I think you've seen from the beginning where Dr. Charles, who is the sports communication director, one thing that I think gives us the advantage is when students graduate in sports comm from Emerson, they usually have not just one job offer, but a couple. What do you think it is about whether it's sports comm or polycom that gives Emerson that advantage?
I think the main thing is not only are you learning with peers who are, eager. Emerson's full of eager students ready to get engaged, but you're learning from, practitioners, scholars in the field. You talked about Vincent, who's at the forefront of, social media marketing, political communication, and social media, but also people like Carrie Thompson, who is a practitioner and, leader at the forefront of, elections on the ground. I went as a freshman, had an amazing opportunity to attend the Iowa caucuses in 2024, seems like forever ago already, and got to get that hands-on experience as a freshman. Right now I'm in her, Massachusetts politics class, and we've had people all the way from, state senators to political candidates to mayoral, future mayors. We had Jake Wilson, who's going to be the mayor of Somerville come January, in our class. So we're really learning from people who are at the forefront of politics, and whether it's in sports or politics or journalism, which I've had the pleasure of delving into all three of those fields during my time at Emerson thus far. you know the classes set you up to be successful on the job hunt. How do you effectively communicate through your resume? How do you write a cover letter that's short and succinct but also communicates what you want to get forward or put forward related to your story? And I think that is one of the many ways that Emerson is unique on that front.
Now, I know this last fall you took part in the Emerson Blanquerna Global Summit. You went to Barcelona. For students who might be thinking of Emerson, what type of enriching experience did you have in Barcelona, which of course is the capital of Catalonia?
Yes, Barcelona was amazing. That was just a long weekend type trip where we went to the summit to engage with our colleagues in Barcelona. And, before that, a year before that, I studied at Castile Well, Emerson's campus abroad. So whether you want to do, global diplomacy or sports, the world is your oyster in many respects. And next semester, or next fall, sorry, I'm doing the Washington, D.C. program. So lots of opportunities to immerse yourselves, not only in Boston, but in Emerson's, global footprint that's ever evolving.
So in addition to being in Boston, which of course many people would say you're on the front porch of America, and if you happen to have a team from Boston, we think we're a sports city. If by some chance the Patriots win, you're going to be going right by the Helen Rose Room. You might be helping me with the George Foreman Grill and hot dogs. So you're here. But Emerson really has Barcelona, the Australia program with Marianne Taylor. You're doing Washington, D.C. If you were giving a pitch to a student who's considering coming to Emerson, what do you think the Emerson edge would be?
The Emerson edge to me is preparing you not only to be an effective student and an effective communicator, but an effective, member of the workforce in a very niche field such as political communication, sports communication, journalism, or the arts, to really be at the forefront of innovation, expression, and evolution, as Emerson's motto is.
Okay, my question is, and of course I think you've got many opportunities. I'm someone who believes very strongly in, each of you. And of course, this entire process here, you're of course in Polycom, we've got SportsCom. The person filming this is Cole, who's of course School of the Arts. That's really what the 8th floor is all about, Common Collective. If I said to you, 5 to 10 years out after you've graduated, what is DJ Mara going to be doing?
Oh, God.
Well, God will help you get there.
I don't really know. I feel like DJ 10 years from now will be part of a team either in sports, working for a sports team, or for a public official, effectively communicating messages to their respective audiences.
Okay, all right. That sounds very Aristotelian, and that is discovering all the available means of persuasion. The one thing that we've been about since 1880 has been very consistent. Yes, we specialize in communication and the arts, but it's been all about storytelling. Thank you for joining me today for Payne on Politics, where we've had another story of one of our extraordinary Emerson students, DJ Mara. DJ, thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me.
All of you getting ready for Thanksgiving, are you making the pumpkin pie? Are you actually mashing the sweet potatoes? Or are you actually going to be, maybe frying the turkey or putting brine on the turkey? All of us here, close to where the Pilgrims landed, in a land that was already occupied, wish you nothing but the very best. Happy Thanksgiving from the Boston Common.